Hi, Virgo. How are you guys doing? All right. For my sanity, this one needs to stick. No, I'm just kidding. But I have recorded your reading twice already. And I just didn't feel like it was right. I don't know. There was this energy that was kind of a thread through both of them. Someone else's energy was either in your reading or it was the energy of you having not really been yourself lately or for the last little while. And it was almost the energy of you running into yourself in a way, catching up to yourself in a way. It was kind of, I'm trying to find a way to explain it because it's very specific, but kind of hard to find words for. It's almost as if you'd gotten hurt. This is an example. It doesn't have to be exactly this, but let's say you get wounded and you put on a mask or you get into your ego or some sort of like alter ego or something, right? And it's a protection mechanism. So you go into kind of like villain mode, let's say villain era. You kind of harden yourself. You go into fake it till you make it because you're wounded. You're not really confident and you're like, I'm going to get back to myself, right? But this is what is necessary. I need to protect myself or whatever. But then at one point, it's like the mask or the armor, we forget that it's a mask or armor. We forget that it's not our face or that it's just not our skin. And we either get stuck in it because we get used to being there, we get comfortable, it feels safer. We forget the good about being open, vulnerable, and authentic and intimate because we're still focused on the pain that put us in the mask or the armor to begin with. Does that make sense? So in the other readings, there was a really prominent energy that did not feel like your most authentic self. So it was either someone outside of you that has been very in your energy or around you, but like hovering, not hovering, but like very much in your peripheral, it feels like no matter where you turn. Or that energy was the energy of you and a skin that you're shedding, armor that you might be thinking about taking off, a mask that is dissolving maybe. So kind of interesting, but the key themes, I'll just quickly mention to those other readings, were basically like just that. Some sort of illusion dissolving and kind of being forced to reckon with the truth, but it wasn't an ugly truth necessarily. Almost like realizing that what you've been running from isn't so bad after all, or maybe that you were, again, in a triggered state that was making you perceive something as like a huge threat. When now you're realizing, now that you're coming back to yourself or stabilizing or tempering, grounding, I want to say as well, you're realizing like, oh, I'm safe. You know, I feel like you might have had to invest in yourself lately though, to kind of get to that place, that more quiet place. Yeah. I feel like your head has been you've been heavy in your mind and not in a beneficial way. Yeah, so you maybe were pushed to you could have been feeling very ungrounded, King of Coins in reverse. I feel like you were forced, maybe recently, to ground some of this energy, to release some of this energy in some way. Some of you are working out, some of you are resting, some of you are getting it on. It feels like there's a whole bunch of pent up energy that wants to be released there though. Okay, I'm gonna tap out of that. So anyways, we're doing the next 72 hours. Spirit's just like, we're just gonna start talking about all the shit that's going on with Virgo. All right, let's reel it in, guys. So we're going to look at the next 72 hours for you. This is a timeless reading, so you can watch it whenever you stumble across it. And you could have Virgo anywhere in your chart. I don't read for a particular placement. I just let you guys, you know, be your gangster selves and trust that you know where you're intuitively pulled. So feel free to cross-watch readings, reverse the roles if there's more than one energy and it resonates as backwards for you. That's normal. But yeah, I'm really glad to have you guys here. The other thing that I'll mention quickly is there is a membership area now. Yay! And they get a free, or not a free, they get an extra reading every week. So if you want an extra reading, then go and become the stars in my sky and sign up for the membership area. But yeah, there's all sorts of information in the info box down below about that and other things as well. So let's tune in to Virgo's energy. Okay, let me do that by speaking of grounding. Let's focus on the stone that I pulled for you guys. So this is yellow tiger's eye. This stone is great for bringing you into the present moment, grounding you, prompting admiration for the pure, the sacred, the beautiful, and then allowing your life and your passion for life to blossom because you're noticing more of like the little things that make life so beautiful. It helps you to attract wealth and good fortune or to keep yourself in an abundant mindset while still staying practical and using discretion. So it does other things. It does lots of other things as well. It's good for your confidence, like I said, associated with the solar plexus. This particular piece, a friend gave it to me and he got it at Mount Shasta. And so it has hella energy. So I'm going to leave it to chill with you guys on the table. And you can either pick up a piece if you feel like you want to, or just let this little guy transmit some energy to you that could be helpful. But Mount Shasta, in case you don't know, is a very energetically charged, geographically speaking, place on Earth. And it's kind of a hot spot for paranormal activity, spiritual activity. There's lots of different ley lines that are around it, so it is literally quite charged. So this little guy kind of packs a punch, but let's pull your spread and see what's up. Okay. Show me what you would like to highlight in regards to the next 72 hours for Virgo. What is the most important thing for them to know about the next few days? Their highest and best good. Okay. What's going down? I'm going to pull a Lenormand card, but the Hierophant in reverse. So, okay, we have a really heavy Taurian energy here because the Hierophant and the Empress are both there. The Empress is the card associated with Venus, and Venus is Taurus, is a ruler of Taurus, the ruler of Taurus. So, and then the Hierophant is Taurian's card in the Major Arcana. Sorry, just finishing my coffee. Okay, so the Hierophant in reverse. This could be a few things. So I am going to pull a Lenormand card to clarify. But the Hierophant talks a lot about tradition, established ways of doing things, structures in our life based on, it can be like, we do this because it's always been done this way, you know, like things that are passed down, structures that do need, it's important to question them every once in a while, even just like in terms of humanity, right? The way that we function as like societies, as cultures, as a species. But on a smaller scale, this can talk about religion. It talks about commitment and the things that you commit yourself to in union, to be in union with, whether that is a way of doing things or it is a committed relationship. But the Hierophant in reverse kind of feels like tearing down an old structure. It could also be a lack of commitment though, or doing something very different, something very outside the box for you, something almost rebellious that shocks. It's non-traditional. The breaking of tradition. The House, okay. This quite literally has to do with your house, like your place of residence. So it doesn't need to be the actual structure itself, but it refers to where you live. So it deals with your family, your domestic affairs, what you've got going on behind closed doors. It represents security and stability, much like the Hierophant. So it's very interesting. This is kind of like a double down energy. And I'm seeing it, especially with the Tower, which is about struggles, barriers, resistance. I'm seeing it as like being head to head with something. And you are breaking out of some sort of established, I heard boundary. I don't know whether it's a glass ceiling that you placed over yourself and you said because things are always this way, or because maybe there's an expectation, a very strong, heavy expectation to be a certain way or to follow, to act in accordance. But this is like you saying, but that is not my way. That is your way. That doesn't feel truly secure and stable to me, or that doesn't feel like what family is to me. I'm doing things a different way. But I see this, I'm not gonna lie, I do see there being a little bit of kickback against you from someone who, this could be like a father figure, someone with, this would be like the head of the house, you know what I mean? I see you having, oh yeah. The bear literally talks about an authoritative figure. Someone who kind of like runs things in terms of, I take care of the finances, I bring home the, you know, I keep the structure, again, the structure stable. But these three energies together are so rigid that they feel suffocating. Like it's interesting that that's the stone that came out for you, because I feel like a pressure, like someone is sitting right on my solar plexus, or like someone put like a brick on my solar plexus. And it made me contract. It was feeling a contraction in my solar plexus. That's what it is. It's a contraction. Something has been really oppressive is what that feels like. It's like you have outgrown. This is so much about structure and something like, for some of you, it's someone basically breathing down your neck, telling you how things will be, or else just such a heavy influence from this person, or their energy is so strong around you that you just feel the weight of expectation without them even saying anything. I see you breaking out of this though, because this is the theme ultimately. The Hierophant in reverse flies directly in the face of these energies here. And I see this very much as it being, this is either you versus you, but again, this was like conditioning or programming. Something that was maybe very, very likely passed down through family or passed down through some sort of authoritative figure that had a very strong influence on you. But trying to live in accordance with these structures, with these walls around you has been, I feel like it's made you so small. Like you became what they wanted you to be, and you performed that role perfectly. But there's very little of you left when you perform that role. That made me really sad to say. This feels Saturnian in a way. But it's interesting. It's like you have learned a lesson about something that throws you off balance and keeps you off balance because it takes your life force energy. It does not allow you to align with your fortune, your destiny, your freedom, and the way that you want to exist because it's constantly asking you to play this specific role. And I feel like it doesn't really even leave you time to explore yourself, like ask questions outside of this. So yeah, it feels incredibly stifling. And I think that you are busting out of that bitch. And I love it. I'm not going to lie. I am so here for it. And I'm going to put this here as well. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe it wants to transmit some courage or confidence your way, but I'm feeling like you are taking back something. I don't know. This is coming through as like you've never been able to live your own, like you haven't felt as though you could live your own life. Things have always felt unstable because of that. And maybe now you're just realizing that this thing that claimed to be so safe and this structure that should never be questioned because it's the ultimate, right? The ultimate goal is not what you want. It has caused you pain. It's made you small. It's made you confused about what brings you actual fulfillment. It's like being somewhere you hate and having people constantly be like, isn't this so great? And then like you conform to play along with them, but secretly you hate, like you're miserable there. And it's just because it's not the place for you, but you're not, again, you're not breaking out to pave your own way or to redefine things for yourself. And it feels as though it's very important that you do that right now for some reason. So you could really be connecting with your morals, your values, your beliefs, and tuning into what you think, what you want, what you believe. And you could be finding that terrifying but liberating simultaneously. I do see you coming up against some resistance though. And the candle just went out. I feel like literally one thing is dying and you're going to reconnect with the Ace of Wands, your life force energy, your divine energy, your divine spark, creativity, inspiration, desire, but like sacred arousal, healthy desire that you can trust, that you can follow. Things that inspire you in the right way and don't leave you feeling depleted. They make you feel more alive when you indulge in them. That's how you know that it's healthy. Sorry, had to pause for a second, go turn on the bathroom sink for Luna to drink out of because she was meowing at me aggressively. But this energy of being boxed in, caged in, It's reminding me of this card from Kim Krantz's deck, her archetypes deck, the Castle. And the energy of it is basically like the castle may be glamorized or even romanticized from the outside, but on the inside, it's just like cold walls of stone that can become very difficult to escape, especially when you feel that you very badly want to go another way. So essentially, when the walls come into direct contrast or resistance with your true desires of your heart and soul. This is like something that pulls at your heart. Like I said, it's a way of life. It's a way of building your life. So this has been heavily influencing or affecting that. And the fact that they brought it out so many times is just highlighting to me that this is something that you are really feeling the weight of right now. So I don't know if there's some sort of event or tension that has caused this to come to the forefront. Like, again, maybe some sort of interaction between you and a family member, or just tensions building, an unfriendly kind of vibe present, or something like that. But it does feel, or maybe a specific transit, creating a lot of tension in this area of your life. It could be in your 4th house. We are moving into Cancer season, so there will be a highlight on those things surrounding the home, surrounding mother energy. So it's interesting that we have the Empress in reverse here as well. This is you. This is the energy that you're embodying. So this is showing me directly how small this makes you. You feel very limited. You feel like you're constantly standing at a crossroads, that you don't even have the freedom to pick a path. That's what it feels like, this perpetual crossroads. And it's like you're standing there in your power, but still feeling vulnerable because there's something that is being like, it feels like something's being held over you. I don't know. Whether it's just like, if you disappoint the family, then, you'll have to live with the shame of that. Or whether it's something like, you won't get a specific inheritance if you were to break away from something specific, but it really bores you. It doesn't ignite your soul on fire. Or you would not receive some sort of support. I don't know. It's almost like this threatening energy. So I don't know if that's just you feeling really insecure about breaking out of this. If I could see how it would make you feel vulnerable, but this is like someone who is making themselves so small. The Empress is the card of expansion and innate abundance and receptivity. And here, these energies are just they're not giving warm, welcoming vibes. They're not giving receptive energy. They feel, again, like restrictive or oppressive, or like they put you in a contraction energy. Because if you were to be in your expansion energy, you would blow the walls off. It's like you would turn into Godzilla, but a prettier version or something, right? But you'd be like the 50-foot woman or something, and you would just bust out of it feels like effortlessly, you would bust out of these walls if you just let yourself loose. So this is really highlighting that there's something that makes you want to pick a path. And this path has a lot more to do with your personal values. And I feel like it has a lot more to do with the heart and just beauty, magic, those feminine energies as well. It's like you want to not just survive life. You want to not even just check all the boxes. You want to engage with life in a romantic, like poetic, intimate kind of way. You want to get to the end of your life with a healthy amount of scars, and each of them with a very, a deep fucking story, like lore behind it. with someone by your side with wrinkled skin and gray hair that has seen you through, you've seen each other through so many fucking things. With your children around your deathbed, you know, people that you fucking love. Maybe that's morbid, but I'm a Scorpio rising, so get over it. You want to get to the end of your life with the juice of it running down your chin, knowing that you had no fucking regrets. You're someone with a big, bold spirit. It's juicy. And this is feeling like an energy, whether it has to do with your family directly or not. It's an oppressive structure, and it has sucked you dry of that energy, that life force energy. You don't get to be the truth of who you are. There's just all this anxiety, it feels like, connected to this. So you're in the Empress in reverse energy right now. Let's clarify that a little bit. But it's not her natural state. It's an energy of her feeling small and trapped in what she is meant to be, creating a really rich and abundant life. Not respecting her desire, not respecting what pulls at the deeper parts of her beyond the superficial. The Knight of Cups in reverse. Wow. See, you're not following your heart or your intuition. You're not taking action from a space of heart or intuition. The Knights are the cards of action. So the Knight of Cups literally talks about taking action based on your feelings, moving forwards based on your feelings with an open heart space, available, emotionally available. I think you really want to communicate something from a disarmed or vulnerable place. Non-defensively, from a soft place. This feels like tender communication. Yeah. Warm communication. Truth. Happy truth, though. Not hard truth. Yeah, the kind of truth that really heals and creates meaningful movement, again, from the heart, based on your emotional truth, which is the most powerfully driving force, right? The force of your heart is what will get you the furthest in life. The Chariot is a card of incredible endurance. And it talks about cardinal water, Cancerian energy, speaking of Cancer season. The boldness to move based on your emotional will, your emotional truth, and being secure in that. Knowing what comes with that, knowing that pursuing things from that space doesn't mean that things will always be perfect or that the road won't be bumpy, but you have faith enough in your ability to know who you are, what truly aligns with that very deep and meaningful part of you, and that it's worth pursuing with all that you've got, pouring your whole self into that path and fucking charging ahead, onward, not being in your head about it, not taking time to talk yourself out of it, or be insecure. There's something here that's the kind of investment that it lights you on fire and sparks you up in such a way that it is so hard to contain yourself. You need a great deal of discipline or restraint to hold yourself back. But I feel like you're using those strengths of discipline and restraint against yourself here, almost like weaponizing them against yourself to shut yourself off to something that it would really make you happy to invest in. But there's something about it. One way is clearly just and one is not. Moving in one way is clearly aligned with you and your greater good, your just overall well-being, and one is quite clearly not. One is doing you a disservice blatantly. It's like this choice is clear and it carries a lot of weight. There are deep implications to it. And I feel like you're not in your head about it anymore. You've made up your mind. You know how you feel and think about something, but you also have not reconciled it. You haven't actually taken the action with your whole heart behind it, which is what will give you the courage to do this thing, right? To go after something, to reconcile something. Because it's like you need to break out of this first. Holy shit, Virgo. The Ace of Coins, the Ace of Wands, the Fool, and Justice. Holy shit. This is not only the right decision or path for you, but whatever it is that you're about to leap out into, it's a whole new way of life. It's a whole new adventure, first of all. This is the ooey gooey, sensual, juicy fucking life that turns you on. You're reclaiming this for yourself, or just claiming it, maybe, period. This is right. This is karmically right. This is what you deserve. But it's taking strength to communicate this or to act on this, to set yourself free. It's something big, and there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear. Okay, so a significant event or experience that will be taking place for you is the Three of Cups. Well, I really like this because I feel like you have support that you might know that it's there, or you might not. This could be something that surprises you. But the Three of Cups talks about people who really see you. They understand your vision. They know what you're going for. They support you. Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die kind of energy, that best friend energy. They're in your corner no matter what's going on, and you face all the craziness of life together, and there's no judgment because you're on the same team. And you know that it happens to all of us. Life is life. But I feel like there's a beautiful showing of support. This could also be your spirit guides, but it feels more direct. It feels more, it's like emotionally supportive, energetically supportive. Someone could be giving you advice or validating you or just letting you know that you are seen, you are powerful. Yeah, it's like they're inspiring you with their words, maybe. The Page of Swords and the Ace of Wands. Or else one of your friends just acts in this way, like they kind of push the boundaries, or they're like a little bit of a rebel. It's just coming through as very free, very free-spirited, liberated, heart-focused, very full of light and love. Can you tell me about the Three of Cups, please? So you could be spending time with friends or a friend. You could be coming together and just having a really good time or feeling really supported. The Emperor in reverse and the Four of Wands. I think there's something being reconciled here, though, or something that needs to be. The Emperor and the Empress in reverse, and I saw the Lovers in reverse here, too. There's something that has not been able to be expressed equally. The Four of Wands is about balance and reciprocity that makes a structure feel both inspiring, liberating, and also very safe and secure. It's not the same energy necessarily, though, as the Hierophant and the House and the Tower. Yeah, the Four of Wands definitely carries this energy of freedom in the heart space, freedom in the soul, and also celebration and connection with someone else that fits very much into that vision or helps inspire that vision, almost like a muse kind of energy. Like your muses for one another, and then you build or create a really beautiful life together as a result of that. So again, this could just be, it could be friends, like friendship here. But it's coming through as a relationship of some sort that's very meaningful. It brings joy and peace to your life, to your heart. But I want to know what the Emperor in reverse is here, because we do have this pair, and we already know that this is your energy. Is the Emperor in reverse also signifying Virgo? Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it is. Look at the bottom of the deck, the Lovers in reverse. This is just you. This is all about you, Virgo. And holy shit, are you ever... This is big. It's making sense to me now why I couldn't do the reading the other 2 times that I did it, or it just didn't feel right. I think that there's so much pressure that's been building. Things have felt so intense. Something's definitely reaching a breaking point. The Devil is another card that talks about oppression, restrictive energy, something that makes you small. And then you have the Emperor, the Empress, and the Lovers all in reverse. Do you know what this is? This is an existence lived in fear. Because you don't trust yourself, because you're not being yourself, because you're shrinking, and you're being motivated or driven forward by something. Because the thing is, this, I feel, is the energy that you go into as like a survival mechanism, almost a coping mechanism. It's like your armor, or where you feel safe or in control, right? Is when you're embodying yourself like that. But something, even though the Empress is in reverse and the Knight of Cups is in reverse, you're still in these energies now. So something is pulling your feminine energy or your heart to the surface. And it very well might be a connection with, again, people that actually make you feel seen when you've gone so long not being. You haven't been seen for yourself because at some point yourself was not accepted. You were told to be something else, to conform, to follow the rules, to do as you were told, to not make a scene. This could have happened when you were very young, for me to be kind of wording it that way. Something you inherited at a very young age maybe, and it's just really oppressed or stuck with you since then. But there's something that is much more tender and loving, something that actually inspires you, and it truly sees you. And it might be very powerful because it sees you through the second skin, through the ego, through the shadow, through the mask that you have become. And I think that it's kind of giving you some sort of emotional and spiritual or energetic support that is potentially giving you the courage to stand up to something that's had authority over you for a very long time. And I don't think this is just one person. Although, again, there might be an opportunity or something where there's a conversation between you and some sort of authority figure. But I feel like this is much bigger than that. It's about the structure and what you place value and worth on in your life and within yourself. Wow. Okay. So tell me about the 3 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. Tell me more about this event or experience that is meaningful at this time. But yeah, this is very warm, very supportive, super light, just loving, endearing, pure, but also, again, inspiring. Like when you're with your best friend and you feel free, you feel playful, you feel safe in a non-criticized, non-judged, like, you know, when you're hanging out with your best friend and you can literally say and do anything, right? It feels like that. You're not like censoring yourself in any way. It's so freeing. Okay, you got this card. I'm so glad it came out in reverse. But is this my twin flame? And then it's a trauma bond. So there's something here that is the real deal, okay? You don't have to subscribe to the idea of twin flames. There's something here that is very supportive and tuned into you. It's a soulmate, let's say, because it could be a friend as well. There's really heavy friend energy here, but it's just coming through as an ally. So some sort of soulmate, someone, again, who sees you, who understands you, because they're seeing you through the lens of their heart and soul. They're not seeing what you're showing on a superficial level. That's why it doesn't fool them, because they're seeing right through it, you know, to a part of you that you maybe even forgot. There's something that I think you could have questioned whether it was built on a healthy foundation. It's almost like you haven't been able to tell if something really matters in the big scheme of things. If something is truly like, you could have been looking at it though from a very skewed lens of, is this thing productive, you know? But even the way that you perceive productivity, I feel like, is very much limited to this structure. So what productivity really means, it doesn't mean to get a lot of work done. It means to make intentional choices towards a specific goal. So productivity is based on what the goal is. If the goal is to replenish, then the choice that supports that could be to pause and rest. So you maybe these people told you what your goal, or this structure has been informing what your goal needs to be. And you've been judging whether things or relationships or whatever, whether they're supportive or productive based on believing that you have to work in alignment with that or towards that. No, I feel like there's something that you want that is productive in a much more rich sense. It's productive in terms of you coming home to yourself, you actually being yourself, you fueling your heart and soul, you being inspired, I don't know, you living an existence that you actually love, that actually excites you. But this is a moment of recognition that something is supportive, something that you've been questioning. It's like that something is cooperative, something is building with you or helping you build. But there is this element of like, even destruction is a form of creation. I don't know why that's coming through. That's heavy Scorpio energy though. Because there's this sense of things needing to be broken down so that something can be created. And these things are things that it's like you've created a legacy of things maybe that you don't really want. And now you're realizing you're ready to bust out of that and explore your spirit, your heart, move passionately in the direction of things that light you up, that feel right, that harmonize your spirit, that put you in deeper alignment with yourself, that truly see and accept you and make you feel recognized and free to be yourself rather than harshly judged and criticized or unsafe when you are being yourself. So is there anything else about this experience or event that wants to be highlighted for Virgo? No, I just feel like you have this striking moment where you see what fits you and what doesn't. And only you know what that is. I feel like it goes really deep though, because it's what is in alignment with how you feel your value is reflected back at you. Like what truly honors, sees, respects, and supports you or enriches you, and what doesn't. What praises you when you fulfill a specific role that diminishes you truly or deteriorates your heart and soul, right? So there's something really powerful here and liberating, but it's coming through reaching a boiling point or an explosive point where something really needs to change. And I feel like you get this kind of hidden or this little burst of supportive energy. It goes a really long way. So a prominent influence on the next 72 hours for you is the Eight of Coins. So there could be something surrounding your job or work that comes up that influences things. You could be very busy, or else maybe some of you get a job offer. You're working on something here. Clarify this Eight of Coins. Why is this? This could also be work that somebody else does that impacts you or influences you in some way. So whether they're working directly to support you or whether, I don't know, this could even be something like someone, like you follow someone's blog or social media and they post a really inspiring quote that is exactly what you need for something to click into place. It's something about either you doing work or someone else doing work, and it's highly influential to you. Tell me about the Eight of Coins. Is this Virgo? Yeah. Okay, you're working on your own self-destructive and sabotaging ways that have prevented you from changing. Shadow work. This is shadow work. There's that Scorpio energy that I was feeling. I knew there was some sort of death that had been needing to happen. And you know what? I don't even think necessarily that the avoidance of this was completely, I mean, yes, it was you because you're the only one who can choose to do this, but I don't feel like you've had a safe space to go through this. Like this requires a cocoon, right? If the caterpillar is just out on the sidewalk with birds and, you know, all sorts of things that could eat it or step on it around, and that's where it's going to just turn into goo and then turn into a butterfly, it's not going to work so well, right? So it's like you didn't have the space, you didn't have the safety, and you also didn't have the clarity or the bravery, I feel like, to know that you needed to move somewhere where this could happen, or else you had even built up maybe a genuine defensiveness against this shift because, again, you'd gotten so comfortable or used to whatever this is. You're facing this now. And whatever work you're doing here, it's worth it, Virgo. It might be difficult to look at some things, but this is what's going to create the change. And this is the greatest influence over the next couple days. So they're telling me that that's super significant. So yes, do the work. We love to see it. Your advice is the Ten of Wands. Let the breaking point happen. I feel like you've been carrying this for so fucking long and it's heavy. The Ten of Wands is another card of oppression. I'm going to pull you some surrender cards and see what it is that... It's funny that I felt called to use this oracle deck for you guys. I've been using a different one for every sign. But yeah, there's definitely something... I was saying it in terms of like you're breaking away from it, but surrendering it is also an element, or there's an element of surrender that will need to happen here because this is an alchemical process. This is a death through the return of self, the return to self, the retrieval of self. It's like you're seeing where you haven't been yourself so that you can retrieve those places of you or come back to yourself in those places. But clarify this Ten of Wands, please, because this definitely talks about needing to lay something down or surrender something. The Ten of Wands is just a highly energetically burdened place of frustration, of exhaustion, of burnout. I honestly feel, Virgo, if there's a place where you can get away to over the next couple days to safely crash out, like if you need to sleep for 3 days straight, then sleep for 3 days straight. But take care of your physical vessel, please. Take care of your mind as well. Like do something, go somewhere that, even if you're having a staycation, or go stay in a hotel for a couple days, but like do something where you have the space, if you can, or over those 3 days, get out of the house and be somewhere where you have space to release, to feel what you need to feel, to just be with yourself in a really disarmed and authentic kind of way. Okay? It's an important time for you to do that. But yeah, tell me, okay. Surrender to success. You're ready to experience motherfucking abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. This has to do with the Empress. She is about abundance and success. So again, this success has to do with following something that calls to your heart, something that is inspiring, and it's a healthy desire for you to pursue. And you'll know because it will align with who you truly are, not expect you to be someone that you're not. Anything else? That's when you're going to be truly successful, when you're being yourself. That's where your magic is. That's why it takes guts to really be authentic. And people will get triggered as hell by it because that's you being in your power. And it challenges others to do the same, or it shows them that they can. So people respond to that in a myriad of ways, but that's not a you thing. Surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet, meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. I feel like this brings you peace. Whatever this is, meditate on this energy. Times that you felt seen, deeply connected at the core of you, in the most important, intimate, deep places of you, when you felt people see, support, and connect to you in those places. I feel like that brings you a lot of peace. Also, other people could be sending you good vibes or energy. It doesn't feel invasive. It just feels supportive. It feels just like love, people loving you. Positivity. Let's get one more. One final one. I feel it's quite interesting that both these cards are orange. It's making me feel like the sacral chakra, which again has to do with emotion and desire or inspiration. Yeah, you need to set some limits here with this situation. It's healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. There's someone here or something that you're saying no to, and it could even be an old way of yourself too that you're having to set limits to. You're like, that emperor in reverse does not get to be behind the wheel anymore. My ego needs to take the back seat. It can stay, but it needs to take the back seat. Then you have surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So yeah, and then procrastination. There's something here that you're not doing. Okay. Virgo. This is very Okay. I love you so much. Okay. This is so loud. Fuck. Okay. So, sorry. There's something that you are attached to, but I feel like it's coming from that emperor in reverse space of rigidity and needing to control. And it's almost coming through as like perfectionist. And that could be, again, something you learned, like an adaptive sort of thing. Like perform well and you can fly under the radar, essentially, in this atmosphere. But you could be procrastinating, not jumping on a goal and putting it off instead. But it says taking action will attract success. This talks about doing things, doing what you can. There's some sort of situation, you want to move towards it. And you do have the ability to sway something, to make something happen. But you can only control what you can control. So this is something where you're not supposed to wait until you have all the answers or you are completely prepared, because you won't be. Now is the time. You're as ready as you're ever going to be. And in fact, holding on to this will sabotage it. That's what you're realizing here. That's what you're working through. You're working through surrendering this attachment to results because you're realizing, I think, that's one of the main ways you sabotage. It's like you overwhelm yourself with these crushing expectations, but I feel like that is carrying the torch of something that was conditioned into here. And now it's just like become a permanent resident voice in your head. But I don't know what this is at the bottom of the deck. For some of you, this is a final message. This is definitely an important message, though. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions from your solar plexus, from a place of true confidence and alignment with yourself. So there's something you haven't been seeing clearly. And I think you just need to see it clearly, like look at the whole spectrum of a certain person or situation. Don't try to put it on a pedestal. Don't try to glorify it. Don't try to diminish it. Look at the pros and cons. Some of you might want to make a pros and con list about something, whether that is a person or like an action that you want to take, a move that you want to make. But it's spirit guided. Spirit is here with you. You're so supported, Virgo. You really are. There's a change that is long overdue, but you're putting it off because you don't feel prepared. I think the only preparation that you need, honestly, is alignment with self. And you're making that happen through setting healthy boundaries, outlining what your limits are, where you need to draw lines, where you won't compromise, and where you will be yielding. And there's something as well that once you align with yourself, again, once you get the other voices and energies off your back, or you get a little quiet time, you separate your energy and you're just with yourself again. It feels peaceful and quiet. And from that place of truly being connected to your authentic core, there's something that you'll be able to see clearly that you haven't been. And whatever that is, seeing clearly helps you make a very important decision. There is fear here, very, very strong fear, Virgo, but it's because of what you're stepping into. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. You've done this. You've done it for too long already. There's nothing else for you to learn there. The next 72 hours looks pretty significant for you. I feel like you're making a major decision, and I feel like you're setting boundaries with some people. But it's more than just that. It's coming through as a reclaiming of yourself, the first step to moving into a truly sovereign and empowered version of yourself for the first time in a long time, maybe ever for some of you. You're breaking out of something very deep, very rigid. So please be gentle with yourself. Again, like take care of your physical vessel. And that includes your mind. Because with that 5 of Swords energy, that's heavy and it's rumination in all the wrong directions. So then what ends up being amplified is just the things that are not helping you in any way. Again, they're just kind of sabotaging things or making more of a mess or even triggering you. But the 5 of Swords is an energy of being disconnected from what really matters. Like you've lost the plot. Whatever you got to do to really tune into you and that state of meditative inner peace and genuine rest of the mind, the heart, the body, and the soul. Please do that, because there's going to be an unburdening here that happens for you when you do. There's going to be a realization that happens. And while it might feel heavy for a moment, it's going to feel like such a relief. Such a relief. I'm hearing long-standing fog lifts. A long-standing fog lifts. And I feel for a lot of you, that's more than a couple weeks or months. I feel like it's it's years. It's an era of your life lived in fog, lived shrouded in fog, lived. This is significant, Virgo, and you deserve, it's like, wow, it's almost like it's your life and you can do whatever you want. This is a coming of age sort of tale. It's becoming sovereign and empowered and truly independent and free in your own life, aligned with the things that really bring you peace and joy. It's major. It's major. So be kind to yourself and keep those around you that love and uplift you as well. But I think that this is beautiful. I love you so much, Virgo. I'm going to leave your reading there. Have an amazing couple days. I will talk to you again soon. Mwah. Bye.